The management of seized and confiscated assets pending return or final disposal has become a priority on the international anti-corruption agenda in the past few years. Now, it is an important aspect of successful anti-corruption enforcement measures and an important step for the successful recovery and disposal of stolen assets. Effectively managing seized and confiscated assets reduces the risks associated with having instruments of crime in circulation and ensures that they are managed in a transparent and accountable manner while preserving their value. Now, today on Daybreak, we look at the standard operating procedure for the disposal of recovered stolen funds or assets belonging to the government. And we have in the studio the President, National Association of Auctioneers, Alhaji Musa Kura Abubakar. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the show.
It's a pleasure being here.
All right, so now let's start with, there have actually been insinuations that we as a country do not have a comprehensive database, for assets recovery, seizure, and also disposal. Now, having been in this line of work for years, do you think the country's database on assets recovery and disposal is effective? Do we even have one?
I would like to welcome the viewers that are watching this program. To my knowledge, I don't think we have such a database. I don't know if we have, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't think. If I say we don't have, that means I know we don't have. But I don't think we have one. Because if you look at the situation, you see that it's what can I call it? It's chaotic, because you have so many issues where sometimes it is EFCC that is recovering most of these properties, both here and abroad. Another time you see is Ministry of Justice that is because Ministry of Justice has a department of assets recovery. So, and I believe they are also engaged in recovery of all these proceeds of frauds, properties, not only in this country, even outside the country. So, frankly, but to say that they have a database, that I don't have knowledge about. I don't know, frankly, if there's a database.
Okay, so you have no idea if, all the items that are actually being seized, there's actually a comprehensive list of those items or properties?
Well, if I am to answer that, that means I know the quantum of the items seized. But I don't have that knowledge. My own is I'm the president of the auctioneers. My duty is when these confiscated assets, the seized assets in place, and they invite us to come and auction. That is our own duty. How they retrieve it, how they assemble the assets, or where they keep it, we don't know. We as auctioneers, our own duty is when they are ready to dispose, they invite us as an auctioneers to come and dispose it.
Okay, now earlier you actually talked about, different organizations, seizing, the items, so it's kind of scattered and all that. But is there a specific procedure that should be followed, in the seizures, and the disposal of these assets?
Yeah, sure. In every aspect of this kind of situation, you must have a procedure. It's one thing to adhere to this procedure, is another thing entirely to follow due process. So that is it. But there is no issue there is no such a thing that has no procedures. But the issue is the procedures being adhered to. That is the question, and that is one of the problems that probably we are facing in the country. You have a situation where assets were seized or were confiscated, from proceed of crime, you understand, and proceed of fraud and so on. But if you go around, there are so many places you go there and you see these properties being abandoned in all over the country. You understand? Even though in some cases they will tell you the cases are in court, so for that reason they have no right to dispose until the court cases are disposed of. That is when they will have the right to dispose. But these things are losing value every day. So I think there is supposed to be a way to devise a way to deal with some of these things, even with the court. The appropriate authority is supposed to have maybe be on the same page with the courts and try to let the court understand that some of these things, some of these things that have been seized, they have been there for over 10 years, deteriorating, you understand, losing value. What is the point? When the government is in need of money, and actually the money used to buy these things or to purchase some of these things is government money. It's government money that has been stolen, and that they go after all these people that have misappropriated the public funds. They seize these things from, they trace these properties and they seize them. In most cases, you will go to places you see maybe EFCC or any other agency that on the wall of this, most of these properties that are seized, and they have been left there, being wasted all the time. So it's high time. I believe if I am to advise, even if there is interim for future order, which usually the courts issued, and there are also final for future order. And until you get the final for future order, before you now be able to dispose of all these the properties, and you know how our judicial system is. It takes a long time arguing between the lawyers, and that gives the room for all these wastage that we are experiencing in the country.
All right, now most of the assets seized are actually sometimes alleged to have been sold to friends and allies, and in most cases, unfair dealings are actually seen. Now, why are we not doing things in line with international best practices?
Well, it's a general problem in this country, and I don't know how to equate it. I don't know how to describe it, because as you said,
it's corruption.
Of course, you can't take that away from. We are talking about Nigeria here. It appears to me the president of the country, President Muhammad Buhari, has been complaining about some of these. He said, if we don't fight corruption, corruption will fight us. And that is actually what is going on. Because some of these things, if you look at them, you tend to you get confused. What is actually happening? Why are these things? And most of these things is not hidden. When you are passing on the road, you see most of these things are there in the open. They have been seized, and you see it written boldly on the properties that this thing is seized from. It's a seized assets, and they left it there. And you ask whoever is in charge, you ask him what is going on, what is the reason why these things are left there and yet rotting away when government needs money to work for the people of this country. Apart, if you don't call it corruption, I just want you to give him a name that is befitting to what is happening. I don't know But as far as I'm concerned, is self-interest and corruption that is causing all this kind of thing. That's just it. And you can go around all over the country. It's not that we are just talking. It's because we have facts that these things are happening. Some of those things that are being seized, they are being seized during Ribadu's tenure in EFCC and so on. And those things are still lying down there. You can imagine when Ribadu left office. But those things are still lying down there. They are losing value. You understand? They are losing value, and government needs money.
Okay, so, but, you know, what role do licensed auctioneers actually, you know, play in all this? Are you recognized by the government?
For anybody to think that we are not recognized by the government, that person is deceiving himself, because we are licensed. We have license that is issued to us by the government, and we renew this license every year. That is one aspect of it. And we pay our taxes. And the taxes we pay derives from maybe about, every year we pay about 4, 5, 6 taxes, or even up to 7. I can list them to you. One of the, you have to pay for your tax. That's, you have to obtain your tax clearance. You have to pay your PENCOM. You have to pay your ITF. You have to pay your NSITF. You have to pay your, you have to renew your license every year. Like in this town, you go to municipal, that is, they are the ones in charge of issuing this license in FCT. You have to go there and renew your license every day. If you are opportune to be given any job, you have to pay your VAT after you finish yours. So all these VATs we are paying into government coffers. So nobody can say we are not recognized by the government. If you say we are not recognized by the government, why are we paying all these taxes? So we are fully recognized by the government, not only by the government, by the Constitution. That's the truth of the matter.
Okay.
We are recognized.
All right. It's a good thing to actually know. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari had on November 9, 2020, inaugurated the 22-member Interministerial Committee, which he mandated to dispose of all assets forfeited to the federal government. Now, a total of 398 estate surveyors and valuers had in March applied to participate in the valuation of all the forfeited assets. Now, given the kind of system we run in Nigeria, do you think, you know, there would be a level playing, you know, ground for all these people?
Since you have touched that aspect, I can tell you that that question supposed to go to that ministerial committee, not to me, because I wasn't part of the, I was not a member of the committee. In fairness, but what I'm saying basically is that what was the result? What have they achieved from that day that they were inaugurated until the court dissolved them? Are you aware of that? The court has dissolved them. And in fact, if I may get it right, according to the judgment, said all the assets that they sold should be returned.
Wow.
Because whatever they did, the inauguration of the committee and the duties they have carried out was illegal. That is the pronouncement of the court, not my own pronouncement. It's a pronouncement of the court. When the court dissolved them, they said it's illegal. They have no right to sell anything. The inauguration of the committee, of the forming of the committee itself, was illegal. That's according to the court, not me. So it is when you go to Ministry of Justice, who the committee were under them, I think that is where you get the right answer why the court has to dissolve them, or what was their achievement since they were inaugurated in 2020, right? What was their achievement? It is them that will give you answer, not me, because I don't know what they have achieved.
All right, but do you have an idea of, you know, what happens to the proceeds of, you know, the seized and disposed assets? Can you tell us that?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to the proceeds. Because if I say anything regarding that, I'm committing myself and I have no proof. So I don't know.
All right, so can we put a figure to how much has been generated from, the assets disposed, from last year, in the last 1 year? Can you put a figure to that?
I cannot put a figure to that because, as I told you, the whole thing was a bit chaotic. You have a situation where in 2019, we were invited by EFCC to go and sell some of the seized assets, which has to do with petroleum products in Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, and other places, which we did. And it was an open auction. The records are there. If anybody needs to know what actually took place from 2019 to date, because we are still working with EFCC, and we are generating a lot of funds for them. And as I'm talking to you right now, we are still working with EFCC. In fact, they have engaged us again. Anytime from now, these things that we are talking about will go around maybe the country and sell off all these things so that we generate money for the government to work for the people. We are just waiting for them to call us. We have already been appointed. And we are waiting for them to call us for a meeting and give us directive as to where we should go. You auctioneer this, or you this, or go there and sell so thing. You go there and sell so. That's what we are waiting for. But as for appointment, we have already been appointed by EFCC to do this general sales of all these assets that are scattered all over the country.
Okay, now just before we go on a break, now are there supposed benefits that are meant to be obtained, from the disposal of public property or public assets, especially when it comes to revenue generation for the country?
Yeah, of course. The procedure, especially when you are dealing with an organization like EFCC, you cannot do anything hidden. It's not possible. Whatever we are doing is an open thing. As I said, there are procedures from the beginning, from before they even appoint the auctioneers, and after appointing the auctioneers, from going to the point of selling the assets and everything. There are procedures. And when you are dealing with EFCC, they are the watchdog of the government and the country. So whatever you do with them, it has to be straight. There is no corner, shortcut or anything. So, and I said, part of the procedures is whoever, not only EFCC, whoever, any organization, government organization especially, they are appointing as an auctioneer, you have to go through the rigors of they will advertise, inviting auctioneers to submit their profile for verification, so that they will appoint those that they deem are fit to do the job for them. After you submit all your documents to the relevant to the procurement entity that announced they want to dispose of these properties, when all auctioneers submit their profile, they will now take it to BPP for verification. BPP will now scrutinize everything, and they choose those that feel they have qualified, and they will now list them and take them back to the procurement entity that wants to make the disposal. And now they will now select from, assuming what they need to use is about 10 auctioneers or 5, or it all depends. If 30 auctioneers qualify to do the job, the 30 cannot be selected to go and do the job. So they will select the ones they need based on experience. They will check your profile, and based on the recommendation of BPP, they will now select among you people and said 5 companies have been appointed, selected to. Then they will issue appointment letter and date and time. Then thereafter, you now, the procurement entity will now make an advert, maybe in a place like Daily, Trust TV. They can do it in Daily Trust. They can do it in Leadership and other newspapers, The Nation and everything. A national newspaper. Announcement will be made. Advert will be made to the general public to know, because you call it public auction. They will now advertise that they are inviting the general public to come to so place at so date for the auction that is going to take place in that place at that time. So people on that date, people will converge there from all over the country. Whoever is interested will be there, will come, and it's an open bid. The highest bidder takes the day. That is how it is being done.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. We'll be going on a quick break, and when we return, I will continue the show. But before then, we've actually been talking to the President, National Association of Auctioneers, Alhaji Musa Kura Abubakar. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. On Daybreak, we're actually discussing the operating procedure for disposal of recovered stolen funds or assets belonging to government with the President, National Association of Auctioneers, Alhaji Musa Kura Abubakar. Thank you so much for staying with us.
The pleasure is mine.
All right, now let's move on to, the Nigerian customs. There's been a lot of seized assets I've actually seen, especially on paper, of them being auctioned or being sold. What is your relationship with the Nigerian customs? And also, just tell us about, if you bid from them.
Well, I've been to so many forums, so many I've attended, I've issued statements, and I have granted interviews, especially regarding the issue with the custom and exercise. To say the least, what is happening in custom and exercise is, I don't know how to call it, but it's a flagrant abuse of power.
In what way?
As I said before, in other news outlets, we are auctioneers and we are professionals. And we are licensed by the government to auction anywhere in this country, and we are paying our taxes. And the customs, especially, there was a time they invited us to say we should come and register with them as auctioneers, so that we dispose all the properties they are seizing. We actually registered with them. We paid 5,000 naira into their own account in Wema Bank. You know, and after paying the 5,000 naira, majority of my members paid. I don't know how many people, I cannot tell you how many people have paid, but I know majority of our people. We have a strength of about 5,000 or more members in this country. A majority of us have paid, and we have been issued receipts to that effect. So, to be frank with you, after we have paid the 5,000 naira as registration fee, we learned that the custom authorities said they are not going to deal with auctioneers. And we said, okay, we take our faith to God. Say it's okay, since we are dealing with other government agencies and even private companies. We are getting jobs, and we are doing our jobs diligently, and we don't have issues with anyone. If the customs, after collecting our money and issuing us receipts, and they now decided that they are not going to deal with us, we said fine.
So none of those monies was actually refunded, and the organization didn't do anything to fight?
No, the customs idea, you are a very respected organization, an important news outlet in this country. You can go to custom headquarters and find out whether they have refunded our money. That is not even the matter. The impunity that is being generated in custom is better imagined. I can be very frank with you. After you have collected our money for registration, and you have issued receipt to us, and you now tell us that we have taken you to court for that reason, you are not going to use auctioneers, but you went behind and you are selling this thing by direct auction allocation, and we get documents. We didn't talk before because we have no proof, but now we have proof in our possession that indicates that these people have gone behind selling public properties to whoever they know. But we have name of companies here that they are being allocated huge number of vehicles at a very minimal price.
Yes, talking about that.
So you can imagine, I have a document here that one company was allocated 338 vehicles for 3,380,000.
Wow.
And another company, which we have the documents right here in front of you, that was allocated 53 vehicles for 530,000 naira. That is, each vehicle is cost about 10,000 naira if you do your calculation. I want to.
But would you actually say it's actually how it was sold, the vehicles were sold, or is it just on paper?
No, I don't want us to go to that area first. What we are talking about right now is that we have a document in our own possession. And this sales was directed by the Controller General of Customs. And the person that signed those documents or that allocations is Controller A.D. Sanusi. So, if I may ask you, please, because I don't know who the Controller General of Customs is, but what they said on the allocation is that the Controller General of Customs, by the directive of the Controller General of Customs. Who is the Controller General of Customs, please? Do you know his name?
Go ahead, please.
No, I'm just asking.
Yes, I do.
Who was his name?
Go ahead.
No, I want to know because there is no, his name is not there. It's the Controller General of Customs. Whoever the Controller General of Customs is, he's the one that gave directive. Yeah, the documents are here, and it is by his own directive that Controller A.D. Sanusi, who happens to be the chairman direct auction allocation, signed. on behalf of the Controller General.
All right.
So this is the issue we have with the customs.
All right, let's move away from that. Hopefully now you'll be able to, sort out whatever issues you have with the customs sooner. Let's take a look at, international companies. Right?
Yeah.
Now, international companies are known to, shun corrupt economies. And, according to reports, Nigeria is actually seen internationally as a corrupt, economy. Do we still have them, doing business with us?
I'm actually in the private sector anyway.
Okay.
Because apart from auction, I do a lot of other business, like I'm doing Bambola business. What do you call Bambola business? I do industrial cleaning. And I have a company that is doing industrial cleaning. And in the past, I have some companies from abroad that wanted to come into this country to do business. And they are ready to invest. Some of these companies, we registered a company here in Nigeria with CAC to enable them come into the country and invest. But due to this issue you brought of corruption and insecurity and other things, they refuse to come. And Nigeria is losing. And Nigeria is one of the most huge market in the world. Nobody take us for granted. Anyway, if you travel out of this country and you heard what people are, it's one of the best countries that you can invest. But because of all these issues of corruption, people are being duped and all things. People are afraid to come into this country and do business. And if the platform is okay and people think they can come, and a lot of people, I can tell you because I have a personal experience, a lot of people are ready to come into this country and invest. But because of the situation of this country, the corruption aspect and so on, a lot of people are shunning away from coming into the country and invest. Okay. And let me not forget, I want us to go back to customs again because of what the impunity that is going on there.
Okay, well, sadly, time is actually not
no,
on
just
our
give
side.
me a second, please.
Okay.
A second. I want the generality of Nigerians to know that we have what is going on there. There is a serving brigadier general. A serving brigadier general, that is the PSO to the Controller General of Customs. A serving brigadier general. He's right now in customs headquarters as the PSO. Are you telling me that all the customs in this world, in this country, nobody is deemed fit to be the PSO to the Controller General of Customs? You have to bring in a serving brigadier general to come
okay.
and
All right. Well, like I said earlier, time is not on our side, but we'll actually try and get, hear from the side of customs on, these allegations.
Fine.
All right, but
we can come here with them and debate.
No problem. We'll see to that. Okay. But with this, would actually really thank you so much for taking time out to join us on the show and discuss on these issues of auctioning. And that's the President National Association of Auctioneers, Alhaji Musa Kura Abubakar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. For the pleasure is mine. Thank you so much. I'm always there for you whenever you need me.